Hey there, it's Harry from SlapYoDaddyBBQ again, and I'm gonna do a quick little interview for my buddy from Italy. His name is Marco Manzani, and he's with the Smoking Bad barbecue team from, I guess, the region of Liguria, a region in northwest Italy. He sent me a bunch of questions, about a dozen questions for me to answer, and I thought I'd shoot a little video interview to kind of answer his questions while I'm cooking some meat behind me. Before we get into the interview and answer the questions, I'm cooking a little bit of barbecue today for the holidays. I have a drum going here, and we've got some beautiful short ribs here. These are beef short ribs. I'm just waiting for them to crust so that I can put them in the oven. So let's jump to the questions that Marco wants to know. His teammates include, I guess, Luca Contri, Alessandro Odone, and they are actually the Italian Grand Champions from 2016 at the, I guess, the Sound Festival. They also won another Grand Championship in 2015 at the WBQA, I guess that's the Italian barbecue event. They are both KCBS sponsors. So let's jump to the question. So let's see, he wants to learn a little bit about my story and my career and how many trophies. Wow. Okay, so the best way to answer the question on the trophies is to take you to where my trophies are stored. I'm just gonna run through the house here, and the trophies are actually in the garage. I ran out of room, so let's see if we turn the light on here. Okay, let's see here. Maybe turn it this way here. So that's a lot of trophies, and if I do a quick pan, it's basically piled to the ceiling in my garage, and that's a lot of them. I've collected actually too many trophies. I reached a point where it's kind of like taken up the entire house and garage. I don't know, it's stacked like three levels high. I won in excess of 100 plus first places, and probably over 24 grand champions, and it's there's no more space. You can see the cars are sitting in the driveway because there's no more room, and that's kind of how I started. I'm an accidental pitmaster. I started in 2008, and been competing for maybe about 9 years now, and the last couple of years I've been slacking off because my body's been beat trying to cook so many contests a year. In my heyday I was doing maybe 35 up to 40 contests a year, and after so many years, the old body can't really take it anymore. So I'm kind of like working on teaching classes, doing charity work, participating in more kind of spreading the love and the knowledge of barbecue. Let's see how many trophies I won. Okay, so you can see the trophies back here. That's a lot of trophies. How did you first become interested in barbecue competition? Like I said, I'm an accidental pitmaster. I got started in barbecue because my co-workers saw the movie called The Bucket List, and they came to work, and we started a little bucket list at work. And what happened was, lo and behold, they challenged me on a stretch goal to cook my very first contest, and I went and cooked the contest, and I won it. And that's kind of how I started, totally by accident. I never knew that I was any good at cooking barbecue. But, as a dare, I just wanted to cook one contest. I put my team name as The Bucket List, but they said it was boring. So they call the team something interesting. I say, hey, I don't care. I'm just going to do a bucket list item as a stretch goal for our bucket list at work. So they decided to say that when it's so good and you want to eat it and you want to slap somebody. So that's how I got the team name SlapYoDaddyBBQ. And that's basically how I got started. I tell the story of how I got started barbecue because many people hold themselves back as to what they think they can't do. So life should not be full of could have, would have, and should have. You just gotta go out and do it. My barbecue journey has taken me around the world. I have been to pretty much countries like Australia, been to Malaysia, even into London, Canada, all over the world, competing and teaching barbecue. It's been a heck of a lot of fun. Let's see, what's your favorite category in barbecue competition? Why? Let's see, my favorite category has to be probably, Possibly chicken or brisket. I've done really well in both categories. I think in the chicken category in the KCBS, I finished like third in 2010, and I realized that, hey, I've never won first place USA in anything. So in 2012, I achieved my goal and I made it the first place in the chicken category. In 2012, I also cooked brisket pretty well. I win brisket regularly. I think I won the Ranchers Reserve first place KCBS in 2012 also. So it's been those are my two absolutely favorite items to cook for competition. I see. What do you recommend for a team that wants to start competing? Okay, so if you are a team wanting to compete, there's many things you can actually do. My suggestion is first get involved and meet the people in your local barbecue association. Go make some new friends. Best way to make new friends is go to the contest and introduce yourself, be friendly, and talk to the teams when they're not too busy. And another thing you should always do when you are a beginner team is go take a judging class. The KCBS folks put out judging classes in California. The California BBQ Association puts out advanced judging classes. So you definitely want to go take a judging class so that you can understand how things are being judged. You want to go to competition. The best is be a judge. Go to the judging tent. Taste some of the barbecue that comes across your table. See how your scores stack up after you become certified, and then talk to some of the other judges to kind of get a feel of what criteria you'll be judged. We always say when you're cooking at home and the barbecue is free and the beer is free, all your friends and neighbors and family will tell you you have the best barbecue in town. But when you go to competition and you get judged by an independent set of judges, there's basically 24 people who will eat your 4 entries, sitting 6 at the table every contest. So you get your butt kicked, you come home, be extra humble, go and try your recipes and go out and cook again. So I recommend, number one, meet the teams, join an association, be a judge, judge some contests, practice, and also if you want to take a shortcut, you can take a class. There are plenty of people around, I guess, in America who teach classes. I do classes in my backyard, so that's really one of some of the best ways to learn. Next question. Let's see. You were in Pitmasters with Myron, Tuffy, and other barbecue legends. Tell us something about this experience. So that was an amazingly crazy experience because I am not a TV person, nor do I have any a desire to be on TV. It happened completely by accident. I was cooking a contest in Fairfield in Northern California in 2009. About 5 minutes before the rib entry was due at 12:30, around 12:25, I get a phone call on my cell phone. I looked at the area code, didn't look familiar, so I thought, okay, so it must be one of my other teammates or competitors trying to prank me to make me disqualified for a contest. I didn't answer the call, so I picked up. I answered the call by saying, "Hey, hi, who's this?" And the guy said, "Hi, you don't know me. My name is John Marcus. I'm a producer on TV." So I immediately cut him off and I said, yeah. I hung up on him because I thought it was just somebody trying to prank me, because I would not in my right mind be entertaining any calls from any TV producers. So on the way home from the NorCal, it was a 6-hour drive. I told my partner, Mark, "Hey, Mark, I thought I had a dream." In the middle of rib turn-in, I thought that the phone rang and somebody said he was a TV producer. So what I did was I looked at the phone, and lo and behold, that was a TV producer calling. I ended up talking to John, and the next thing you know, in the next week, a pile of paper, this stick showed up from Discovery Channel, and that's how I ended up on a TV show. We shot for about 3 months, and I had no idea what to expect. When I was on the TV show, I realized I was against 2 or 3 world champions, and I'm just this small team, 1-person, 2-person team from California. I had no business and no right to be in the midst of some of the greatest pitmasters in America. I thought they had cast me because I would be kind of like the fish out of water team from California that would go and basically make a total fool of themselves. I was on the show. We shot it for 3 months, and lo and behold, you saw season 1. The little team from California, the underdog, actually ended up winning the contest. So that was my kind of like my little experience with them. Once you get to know Myron, you get to know Tuffy, you get to know Leanne, and all the other folks on the team. They are really nice people. And I have to tell you a little secret. Off camera, Myron is a different person than he is on camera. He has a magnetic TV persona, but in real life, when you meet him, he's just a really nice guy. Okay. Next one. The people of barbecue are now divided low and slow and hot and fast. Which one do you prefer and why? Okay, so let me define what low and slow and hot and fast is. Typically, low and slow pitmasters like to cook, say, below 300 degrees. The hot and fast people like to cook sometimes over direct flames, say over 300 degrees. Both methods are valid ways of cooking barbecue. So whether you are a low and slow camp, a hot and fast camp, they both work because they both yield winning results in competitions. Now, what I like to do is I'm typically a low and slow. This is the pit I use. This is the actual pit you saw on Pitmasters. It's been with me for 8 years. Works really well. And I kind of cook around 300 degrees about 250 to 300 degrees on this pit. And on this one here, you can cook hot and fast because you put the food over the flames like this. So hot and fast, where there's no baffle and the meat is cooking. Okay, my ribs look pretty good. So this one is about ready to be foiled. This one is a little bit wet. Yeah, it's a little wet. We'll cook it a little bit longer. My fire's died down. I'm gonna open up the dampers. This is a cool little drum smoker from Big Papa, my buddy Sterling, and it's a pit that I enjoy cooking on because it's super easy. So anyway, I digress. So hot and fast means that you cook it directly over flame hot, somewhere between, I don't know, sometimes 325 all the way to 400, 425 degrees. The hot and fast obviously is a lot faster than the low and slow, but in my opinion, both methods work. I cook contests using hot and fast methods and low and slow, but I'm kind of a low and slow kind of guy. I just like to let the brisket cook for 12 to 14 hours. I've cooked a brisket as fast as 4 hours on hot and fast method, but between the two methods, I know, try both, see which one you like. The winning teams on the circuits, I use both techniques, even though the hot and fast has more recently been much more popular. Okay, which teams do you think are your biggest rivals in the American circuit? Okay, all the teams in America are really good now. There's 5,000 to 6,000 teams in America. In fact, on the California circuit, we have some kick-ass teams like Big Papa Smokers, you know, and Lady of Q, and a whole bunch of other teams that are really, really good who are kicking butt on the competition circuit. Basically, any contest now where you go to in America, you know, the top 20 teams there, it's going to be a tough shoot on any given day. But some teams seem to be rising to the top. You know, a lot of my friends are getting a lot of success cooking both ways, low and slow and hot and fast. Now, what is the competition that has given you more satisfaction? You know, I cooked in excess of several hundred contests around the country and the world for the past, 9 years, 10 years coming now. You know, the best contests I've gone to are some of the invitationals. I've done the Jack, I've done the King of Smoker, done the American Royal Invitational. But really, some of the best contests I've gone to are not really contests. It's a contest of your human determination. I'll give you an example. I was in Florida with Operation Barbecue Relief, cooking barbecue for some of the first responders. And I was part of the big crew of up to 100 people at a time. We were cooking 25,000 meals a day. So to me, that is in a way a kind of competition, a competition of endurance and a competition of cooking food by the pallets. So not by the pounds, not by the number of pieces of meat, but by the pallet. So I think that those kinds of internal personal competition of endurance give me the most satisfaction. I was able to head on to what do you call the wildfires in California. I helped some of the Napa Valley OBR, Operation Barbecue Relief, volunteers cook barbecue, and we cooked thousands of meals. To me, that's the most satisfying part of our barbecue. You saw my trophies, been there, done that. You know, I didn't show you the $10,000 checks against the wall, but I've been there, done that, and right now my satisfaction really derives from kind of giving back and doing philanthropy. Okay, what type of equipment did your team use to compete? Again, like I said, I'm a Weber Smokey Mountain kind of guy. I just show up with one Weber Smokey Mountain. I've got lots of pits here. So I'll give you a quick tour. A couple of Weber Smokey Mountain at 22. I got my drum. I got a Kamado style ceramic cooker, and I've got some kettles. One of my faves is the 14-inch. We got a Weber here that we're going to be starting up soon. More grills here. And then we got a Green Mountain here. And got a gas grill, gas smoker, gas grill. So this is kind of like my backyard where I do all my R&D and recipe So I've got a lot of equipment, but for competition, I like to use the Weber Smokey Mountain. It's compact, it's light to carry, and you know, you can win a lot of championships on it. This little puppy here, my little one here, I've won probably nearly 30 grand championships just using this pit against pit teams that may have used 50,000 worth of equipment, sometimes even 100,000 worth of equipment. So it's not really about the pit, it's always about Pitmaster, as I always say. It's never about the cooker you have, it's about the cook. All right, you also have a catering event activity. What tips would you give those who want to start barbecue catering activity? Okay, so I'm a pitmaster who transitioned onto selling products, sauces, teaching classes, and doing catering. I probably would want to maybe shoot a video just on catering alone because there's a lot of ground to cover, but I'll just kind of touch upon the high points that you need to worry about. Uh-oh. Beans, what's the matter with you? Shh, I'm doing an interview, okay? Come on, relax, okay? Here's our family dog here. Okay, all right, quiet Beans, okay? All right, so back to catering. So, all right, so catering is basically you being able to answer 3 basic questions. Beans, please, I'm trying to talk, okay? All right, number 1, can you make it? Number 2, will people buy it? And number 3, can you make a profit? So before you answer those 3 questions, you should take a piece of paper or fire up a Word document on a computer and type out the answer to those 3 questions, because you really need to have a business plan when you're doing catering, because you need to know kind of how good your product is, what your competition is, what your food costs are, how would you market, how would you sell, how would you get help, how would you pass the fire department, you would pass the health department regulations, how you get a business license, buy general liability insurance. So the list goes on and on and on. I'll cover it in probably in a separate video because we'll probably talk about, you know, maybe a couple hours on that topic. But the bottom line is that have a business plan, understand that you need to know how to make it. You have to make sure people buy it. And number 3, you gotta make a profit. A lot of people get into catering without realizing of the expensive costs involved in catering. For example, if you are having a client, you're doing a wedding, you have to have a job site visit, you have a tasting, all that adds time and adds to your cost. So if you don't factor those aspects in, it's really hard to be able to make a living doing catering. The other thing you also need to know is that there's a lot of competition. So I always tell people who call me for a quote, I first ask them, are you getting any other quotes? And they tell me, yeah, I'm getting quotes from taco trucks, I'm getting quotes from lasagna, from Italian spaghetti. I immediately tell them, I'm sorry, I can't compete with those people because those people will bid half the price that I'm bidding. So those are the 3 main guidelines. In the future, I'll give you a kind of a more comprehensive discussion on each and every one of the maybe 15 to 20 different topics you need to pay attention to if you want to be a professional caterer and you want to make a living doing it, all right? Next one, how do you plan to do some competitions or master classes in Italy or Europe in the next years? Hey, Marco, good question. Of course, if you were to invite me to go to Italy, I dropped everything, fill in my vacation slip and head on from LAX and fly to Italy. I used to work for Singapore Airlines. I flew to Rome regularly and it was a great place. I would love to go back to Italy and teach classes in Europe. I've taught classes in London, but you know, if you want, I'd be happy to show up in Italy, maybe do some Italian style barbecue. I always wanted to do some Mangalista meats. So anytime you want, just let me know. I'm on a plane to see you. Let's see here. Oh, what kind of music do you like? Well, last question. Okay, when you barbecue. Okay, I am a smooth jazz fan. I like to listen to Sade and some of the other Dave Koz and so on. So I like jazz music. Unfortunately, because I'm a well-known team, when I go to a contest, the host almost always places me next to the band. Where the main entrance is where people are coming so people can see me and come out and kind of bug me. And then whenever I'm cooking barbecue, they always start playing the band on Saturday around say 11 o'clock and the band runs all the way to 5 o'clock. So I'm completely bombarded, inundated with music and I'm trying to concentrate and trying to play it in the contest. So at a contest, I guess my favorite music is whatever my host is going to be playing or whatever the live band is going to be playing. But if I have my quiet time, I like to listen to smooth jazz. So that's a quick wrap up of the 12 questions for Marco. Marco, glad you called me and asked me these questions. Hope you found them useful. For those of you who are viewing, hope you found the answers useful. If you guys have any questions, you want to know how to do something, how to get started, how to just get into the world of barbecue, just shoot me a comment below and we're going to try to make more videos for you guys in the future. So signing off, so ciao.